In today's video, I want to show you a really cool trick if you have a MIDI keyboard and you want to create a play game between FX or FMs in Ableton. Recently, I started a small coaching group for Psytrance beginners. If you're interested in that, then you can fill out my Google form in the description box below and tell me which topics you are interested. So we have this little FM play game here, which introduces the more rapid firing FM part later. And I want to show you both parts really quickly, and then we will create our magic device, which will help us to make cool grooves. And then we come from this part to a more rapid one. And one thing which is for me always a little bit annoying when you record those FM parts, I usually arm the FM track and then I record this one and then I record this one and record this one. And I feel sometimes you lose a bit the perspective between those, and they're all atonal, so you have always the same note, so it's always the root note here on those FMs, so there's actually no need to have all those notes here in the keyboard. And there are like multiple ways how you can solve that. And one way I tried earlier, which is quite simple, is that you put them all in an instrument rack and then you put the scale tool behind, and you can basically, if you hit those notes, this one is playing, and if you hit those notes, this one is playing. You could also do it with the chain selector, but it's not so cool because of the octaves here, with this one, with the key selector. But I found the best way is actually if you put them into a drum rack, and that's what I'm gonna show you today. And in order to put it in a drum rack, or for all of those techniques, we will need to prepare our FMs. So what I did with each FM, I put it into an instrument rack. So basically I have my MIDI effect, I have the synthesizer, I have all the effects here, I have all my post-processing like EQ, compression, everything is in this rack here. And once we have this rack here, we place it in here into our FM rack. And I added this little pitch here so that I always play with A#2, it plays in the right octave, because some of them were playing before in A#1 and some in A#2 and some in A#3, and this already annoyed me while I was jamming here, but I think this way it's really nice if you place this little device here in front. I mean, of course you could also do it here, but I think it's more clean that way if you have everything inside here. And the second thing we need to prepare is basically we need to rebuild the mixer here, because they all have different loudness and they all have different reverbs on them, and I want to copy this. So this, for example, has -33 in the E and this has -12.2. So if we look here, you can see that this has also -12.2, and the -7 from here we also have here. So we have basically rebuilt the mixer here so that they also sound the same and have the same loudness when they play. Once we transferred all the instrument racks into our FM rack and we did this preparation with the pitch and the sends, we can start building our groove then. And one thing, if you don't have this chain here, you can just collapse this or open this here, and that way if you paste things here, it really pastes it in here, because if you just paste it here, it will override the drum rack. That's sad, but our groove which we have here, I already put in the MIDI in here. So this is basically the same as if we would have taken all of those here. And that we will utilize now to build our new groove. So let's duplicate this. We have kick and bass, drums, we have our FX, and now we can start jamming with our FM rack. And there's one thing which I want to mention about CPU usage. So first of all, you can do it like I did here, because I have all the recording stuff on, so I use additional CPU. I just bounce stems so that I don't have all those channels playing, or you could freeze your channels that you need less latency. And as you have seen, I left all these sends here which are not used. So if you want to save some CPU, you can also remove all of those, because I think they still use CPU if there's no signal going through. And then the easiest way is basically that we loop 16 bars, because we can just jam along and we pick the best parts. And I promise you, I'm really bad at hitting timing. So I will just start and then we will see. Doesn't really matter if we hit anything. I will just quickly quantize this. I put record quantization on, but I like this one. So we will take this. 160, nice. So we'll start like this. Cool in that position. This one is also really nice. Take all of those and place them here. And then we close. This one's a bit. Okay, that's nice. So once we have basically a more like dominating tone under it, we can go a bit more wild. Don't take care how weird that sounds at the moment. I'm just looking for cool slots, so those are already cool. Why Ableton? That's why I'm not so happy we'll record this extra. That's cool. I'm looking that I'm keeping the positions. So you get the idea that I'm just throwing in randomly, more or less where I have the feeling that I need to press a button, and then I select the good pieces and put them in the same position in my groove. So I'm building up a groove here from 4 bars, and I'm just selecting stuff from the later. this is also pretty cool, I think. So we are in the middle of 10.2. So let's maybe remove this one. Or actually not all of it. You can also swap parts. So for example, let's put this in here and this here. Yeah, actually sounds really cool. Maybe it's something in the automation which doesn't make it fit over here, or I have overseen something. Ah, yes, it's not exactly here. It's to left, to right. That's the point. And then we need to swap it back. Let's go with a new round. Sometimes it gets a bit confusing, I think, to push too many parts, and we can easily go with another round here. And there's a really nice feature in Ableton. It's this recovery option, and you can in the push, you can do it with record new, and then you can recover things. And I want to only have one of those long. And we will place them in the exact same position. So we have a 4-bar loop, and I just extended this so that we are here on our 4 bars. So actually we have done 8 bars, and I will copy this, and then we should be able to place this over here in FM Dark. Yeah, I think that's already really nice. Then we will consolidate again, and we will loop this again so that we have our 4-bar loop again. I'm not so sure about this one, but maybe let's leave it for now. Check out if we remove. I don't want to have too much shots overlapping. I mean, you can. Okay, now once we got our basic pattern, we can start optimize it a bit. So as I already did a bit. So first of all, we need to check that everything is quantized. That was what I didn't like about those. I mean, you can of course leave some spaces in between if you want, but for example here I felt it really empty. So maybe we are looking for something which we can place in here. And what we will do is we will save a copy of this. You can just extend this over here, cut it with Command E, and then you have this here save in case we screw it a bit. And now we will try to look for something which would work in here. I think that was nice. So we can take this, increase our loop again, consolidate this, and we have found our new loop. Just make sure that everything is right. Okay, let's find one for here as well. So yeah, I'm gonna like this. Sometimes you can also check if a shorter loop is cool, but in that case, I think we quite nailed it. So we could also maybe go just for this. Or we could use this as a build-up for the other one, so for the 4-bar pattern. So we could say like this is our 2-bar pattern, and then we have also a 4-bar pattern, which is here, yeah. So that's basically how you can find your grooves really easily, and you can really jam on top of your MIDI keyboard. And once you have this, there are several ways you can do. The easiest way I found is you click here on a note, it selects all the notes, and then you copy it in your original chain again, and then you remove the rec in the end. So you could, for example, like place it in your project folder whenever you need a new rhythm, your new jam, then you put it in because it uses a lot of CPU. Or you have your separate project for this, or project copy of this, where you have less CPU intensive stuff. And then you can basically go into it and copy it out from your browser in Ableton. So that's basically how you retrieve it then to get it back in your track. But I think it's way more intuitive if you can play on your piano or MIDI keyboard while you're doing it, and you not have to switch all the time the channels, because that really brings you out of the creativity, I think. And as you have seen, I'm not good at hitting notes, and I still think it grooves very good. And if you want to learn more about Psytrance leads, then I link to a video up here.